Hello everybody and good morning from Salt Lake City, Utah. Beautiful Salt Lake City behind us. I mean, it's pretty hazy out because it's about 7 o'clock in the morning, so it's pretty, there's some really cool mountains back there that you can't see. We'll see if we can get a shot of them later. But while we're out of town, we'd like to try new restaurants and places we've never been before, and since it's so early, we figured we'd try out this morning Dough Miner, which is a donut and pastry shop. And they even have lunch stuff, so I'm excited to check this place out. So come along with us, and we'll see what it's all about. All right, we are here. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning, like I said, about 7:15 now. You can see some of the mountains in the background, I think, now, kind of hanging out. So this is downtown. We're in downtown Salt Lake City. I don't know if this is a nice area or not. We don't live in Salt Lake City, so we're just going to be careful, but we're kind of walking down here. I see the Dough Miner ahead. Never been here. I'm a big fan of donuts. You're just kind of okay on donuts, right?
Right.
So I like to try different donut places, but they also have really cool pastries here for lunch, which I kind of feel like I wish we were here for lunchtime, because they had things like Cornish pastries with curried potatoes. Sounds pretty good to me. So, oh, we're here already, so let's check it out. Alright, so we picked up our donuts. We decided to come back to the hotel room because it's a little bit easier to record in the hotel room versus the actual donut location. So let's talk a little bit about Dough Miner. I thought the name itself was particularly kind of interesting, and I was wondering, like, why is it called Dough Miner? What is that about? Apparently the location has strong ties to Cornwall, England. So back in, I guess, the 1800s, there was a big mining industry there, and they actually created these things called pasties. So those are those like big pastry things that look like they're like kind of like crimped or whatever on the ends. They looked really good. They had a jerk chicken pasty, and I'm kind of sick about the fact that we didn't get any of them. So maybe we'll try to go back before we leave for maybe like lunch. But they're famous for their like donuts and their pasties, and they looked really good. Apparently pasties comes from Cornwall, England. In the I don't know if it specifically was out of Cornwall, England, but basically in that area. It was a popular dish for these miners because there's a big mining industry in that location, and it was like an easy folded pastry that they could keep with them and take with them into the mines and then eat during the day, and it kept them very full, like filled them up. So that became like a big thing. And apparently, because mining is so dangerous, they used to believe in these like little gnome creatures or something in the mines. They called them Tommy knockers or something. And they would always like take off a little bit of the end of their pasty and like the crust and like throw it out into the mine to feed the gnomes for good luck, so that they would have a good day at work. So I think that's really cool, and they brought it back here. Apparently mining started to slow down there, and they started to move into other areas of the world, namely Park City and Salt Lake City, Utah, here where we're at. A lot of them moved here for mining industry here. And apparently that's the ties for this particular restaurant, for this donut place, and that's where the history is. And then they created Dough Miner, so that's kind of cool. Dough Miner. I was kind of interested. I was like, I don't know why it says miner, like a mining thing. And their little logo is this like guy with a hat, and he's got like pickaxes and stuff. So, what did you think of the restaurant?
The restaurant was cute. There wasn't anybody in there at the time that we were in there, but it looked brand new. I don't think it is brand new, but it was like really, really nice in there, and they had really cute merch in there as well. I was checking out. Yeah, and the donuts looked very big and very good.
Yeah, I'll be honest. When we walked in, I was shocked. I was not expecting the donuts to look the way they did. They were humongous, and they looked so fancy and so cool. They had a lot of different kinds. We literally sat in there for 10 minutes before we even picked a donut. And the guy was actually really nice. He like kind of walked us through each donut, told us what each one was, what the ingredients were, and it was really awesome. So we picked out 3 donuts that we're gonna try, and I'm excited. We got 2 cake donuts and 1 yeast donut. She's a big cake donut fan. I'm a big yeast donut fan, but the cake donuts look so good I had to try one. So I want to try the very first donut. So I judge pretty much all donuts and donut shops by their glazed donut. Their yeast glazed donut. All the donuts in there were about $3. So I actually thought that was cheap. I'm used to paying like $6 at Disney Springs and Everglazed for like their giant donuts, but they're only like $3. So we actually walked out of there. It was only $15 for 3 donuts and some drinks. So I was like, man, that's super cheap. But the very first donut I got, the glazed donut, I gotta try it. I mean, this glazed donut, whoo, man, it looks good. Check this monster out. Look at this thing. What? What's going on here? Look at it. I mean, it's huge. This thing is a monster. Look at it. Look how big it is. It's like literally as big as my head. It's a monster. I don't know what this thing is in the middle. I'm guessing it's like the dough, like the hole they cut, and then they just cooked it and put it on top in the middle, because there is like a hole. So I'm gonna give it a rip. Glazed donut. This is my jam. It's like a denser yeast donut. Not a cake donut, but it's like denser. You can kind of look at it in there. It's not super airy, but it's actually got a really nice texture to it. And that glaze is really good. Apparently it's a vanilla bean glaze.
I got the chocolate tantrum donut. It's really big and it looks really messy already. I almost didn't get it because it has like a bunch of glaze on the chocolate on the top. I typically like my cake donuts just to have nothing on it. But I know lots of people like icing and sprinkles, so we'll go ahead and give this a try. I feel like it's going to get all over me. The actual donut itself is the way it's cooked is really good. It's really crispy on the outside. This is the inside. It's the texture of the donut is 10 out of 10. What's weird is I don't think the actual donut is chocolate, which I thought it would be because that's chocolate glazed or cake donuts are my favorite. It's not. It's just like a regular donut with chocolate icing on the top, and the chocolate icing's okay. It's not like my favorite chocolate icing, but the actual donut itself is really, really, really good.
So the cake donut that I picked up is called the Gold Digger, which actually I just thought was a fun name, but it's a classic cake donut. It says with a brown butter glaze, and it says it's sprinkled with salt. And then I also see some like gold dust on it. So it's actually got like a gold sheen on the top, like a little bit of gold dust. Yeah, man, these things are messy. Like they're hard to hold without getting it all over. But again, this thing is huge. It's not quite as big as the other donuts, Candy's donut and my donut, but I mean, it's pretty big. So I'm gonna give it a shot. Brown butter glaze, cake donut, and gold dust? I don't know. Huh. That has an interesting flavor. I guess it's the brown butter. Almost like a burnt buttery flavor. It's kind of interesting. But the cake donut's pretty good. The texture's good. But I don't know that it's my favorite cake donut. I don't know. I'm not like 100% sold on it, but I think the crunch of the texture is awesome. And I kind of want to try the chocolate donut too, so I'm going to give that a rip. It's impossible to eat this donut without getting messy. It's just impossible. Yeah, I agree. I don't really like the chocolate on top. It's kind of like a semi-sweet or something. I don't know. It's not my favorite chocolate glaze on top at all, but it looks good. But the donut part's pretty good. I'm curious if the flavor you feel like is different from this one without the icing, because there's like an interesting flavor.
So I'm gonna try this, and I'm already getting it all over my hands. These donuts are messy. I like it. I like it better than the chocolate one. But I think it just tastes. I think the donut itself is the same. So, just so you know, if you ever come get the chocolate glazed donut, it's not a cake chocolate donut. It's just normal. So yeah, I like this one better.
All right, well, for me personally, all together, I'd say the glazed donut's probably my favorite, just the yeast donut, because I just like yeast donuts better. I do like the little like donut hole thing on top. That's exciting for me because I like donut holes. But overall, donut-wise, I mean, it's okay. I don't think it's my favorite donut place. I feel like Everglazed is much better. Voodoo Donuts, I don't know. I think this might be better than Voodoo Donuts at Universal. But overall, I think it's a pretty good spot. I want to try some of the other donuts, and I really want to try the pasties because they look really good. But donuts, they look really interesting. Flavor's just kind of okay. Not my favorite donut, but they're pretty good, and it's worth a visit.
It's not my favorite donut place. The way the donuts are cooked is I love 10 out of 10. That's perfect for me. But flavor-wise, it's just okay. They're not like bad. It's just nothing to write home about. I don't think I would be back to eat donuts.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about the donut itself that doesn't. Maybe this like the donut itself doesn't have that much flavor, and then the glazes don't have that much flavor, and the flavor that was on the chocolate glaze I didn't like.
Yeah, I didn't either.
But the brown butter glaze and the vanilla bean glaze are good, but they're light, like a light flavor.
Yeah.
So overall, it doesn't have. None of the donuts had a strong flavor. They definitely weren't sweet, like super sweet.
No.
I feel like most donuts, like Everglaze, like it's like a sugar coma. As soon as you take a bite.
Yeah.
These ones were more like I felt like I was just eating, I don't know, bread with like a little bit of sugar in it. So if you like donuts that aren't super sweet and have like interesting flavor profiles, these are actually pretty good. But for me, it's not like my favorite type of donut. I like kind of sweet donuts. But overall, fun time. Dough Miner, give it a shot. Salt Lake City, Utah, right downtown. It's pretty easy to find. Parking was good. I was afraid parking was gonna be a problem, but they actually had a lot of parking. And I kind of wish we would have eaten on the inside because it was actually really nice in there. There was nobody in there, but I was afraid it would be a little bit too crazy. And sometimes places that aren't in the Disney area get weirded out when you record inside. So we chose to say, you know what, we're gonna go back to the hotel room. So anyway, short episode, more traveling to come. We got some more things planned for here in Salt Lake, so be sure to tune in next time. Until we see you then, the Noble Way
Is the easy way.
Bye-bye, everybody.